deserve to have the best physical, mental, spiritual, Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. I'm excited today. I've always been a pretty motivated kind of person, and I just have been thinking about just life in general and just different business things. And there's a lot of things that can discourage you, anybody in life, really. And it kind of my mentality has been very consistent all my life. I don't worry too much, which I'm a very optimistic person. I guess that's where it comes from, is the lack of worrying. And again, I told people this a lot, that I've experienced this myself, is that when you worry, the very, very small percentage of times does the things that you worry about, or do the things you worry about, do they actually come to fruition. So you spend a lot of time and a lot of stress, and it is hard on the body, mentally and physically too, when you worry too much. And if you worry about a lot of things and over time, there's a lot of things that you've worried about that don't really actually happen. So you're wasting your time and energy on worrying about things that don't ever end up happening. So, obviously with my football career, first thing we would do on game day, here in Jacksonville and in other places that didn't have a dome, first thing you do when you wake up is you look outside to see what the weather's like. Right. And, it's windy, it's raining, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is awful. We're playing outdoors. It's just gonna be a terrible game, or day as far as the weather. And man, it's going to be tough, and you worry about it. But yeah, that only lasts for a few seconds. Like, what can I do about it? I can't control the weather. So there's a lot of things that that are out of your control that you worry about, and it's useless. It really is. And really, with the subject matter of today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the challenges of worrying, or kind of the challenges of getting told no. I worry, like when I was a kicker trying to make it in the NFL and this, and I was worried about like workouts, like, oh, what are they going to think about me, this and that. But I finally, after a while, clearly took some time and experience to realize that I can't worry about that kind of stuff, because that's really not my problem. It's not I can't worry about what other people think about me. And that's really where I'm going with that, is you realize how many no's I was told during my career trying to get into the NFL. And, I knew I had the abilities, and, oh, you're too short, you're this, you're that. They gave me all kinds of excuses on why they felt that I wasn't good enough to play at that level. And and even coming in from high school to college, and my junior year two years of junior college, then to university, University of Idaho, I found myself in the same boat. It was like, man, nobody wants me. I did, good in the junior college. And then Idaho was the only team or the only college that really kind of stepped up. And so really I was told no a lot. I was, I'm in a position where I want to do what I want to do. I'm passionate about something. I want to move forward with something, and I want to take advantage of my passion, my abilities, my work ethic, my effort, my tenaciousness, tenacity, we'll say, very persistent with what I wanted. And that's really what got me to the NFL. And I'm telling you, we are a lot more capable than what we actually think. And especially if you worry too much, you're going to be a lot less capable, because you'll probably give up on a lot of stuff that you really wouldn't really know that you could actually achieve unless you actually really worked hard on it. So I'm really kind of in the mood, today to talk about, the amount of no's and amount of rejection that we get on a daily basis, for say, with regards to just, anything you're doing in life. And you want to make sure that you're really you're humbled in a sense where you don't get too complacent, you don't get too arrogant. Things are not given to you. Sometimes they are with some people. I get that, and it's a little frustrating, because a lot, times we work really hard for stuff, and other people are just given things, which is kind of frustrating at times. But they don't share in those experiences that we do. in learning what it takes to, keep moving forward, even though we've had all those rejections and things like that. And so basically with regards to, how to deal with success on top of that as well. It's like you've heard the word no a bunch of times, and then you found yourself very successful. And it's a very, very comforting feeling. And my point today really is going to be, honestly, you can't rely on what people are telling you, because they are not you. And I'm going to show a clip. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go right into it right now. I'm going to show a clip of a video that I did today. I made today. I was going to post it, but it took me a little while to kind of complete and all that. And I got some audio that I added to some pictures, and maybe a little video at the end there. But it's kind of my life story in a 1 minute sort of video that kind of shows pictures of what I've experienced in my life. And had I given up on a lot of those things, and in the challenge and the journey that it took me to achieve those things, I would have never experienced what I did. And I'm telling you that you can't listen to people, because again, I'm always been a big fan of applauding people that do well, which is hard for some people to do, believe it or not. It's kind of strange. So without further ado, I want to play this video, and then I'm going to talk about it when we return, and then go over some of the things that I've experienced in my life that have made me the person that I am today. So here's that little video that I made today, and hope you enjoy it.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it.
Whenever you try to do something out of the ordinary, people will line up to tell you that you can't do it, why you can't do it, that you'll lose your time, you'll lose your money, that you will in effect die in the desert. Even people who should know better will try to discourage you.
Don't listen to anyone. Everybody's full of shit. Nobody knows you or what you're capable of doing.
Don't listen to people that are going to tell you that you can't do it. Don't listen to haters. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to people that give you advice that tell you to slow down, or you shouldn't do it, or you can't do it, or time's not right, or any of those other things. Those are dream stealers. They were sent to you to see if you'll overcome them.
Stay focused. Don't listen to nobody. Don't listen to nobody, homie. What's on your mind, just do it. Because what's destined for you, you gonna get it.
So yeah, that is my life in a nutshell. And obviously at the end there, I'm working out. I'm 53 years old. I still love working out. And again, people can quit all the time on working out. And speaking of working out, I always refer back. I always remember, and I think of actually when I was just watching that video, I was literally thinking about a really good buddy of mine from high school. Actually, I knew him before high school because we played on the same soccer team. But his name is Ken Harding, and Ken, we would be in the weight room in high school, and we're doing some heavy lifting and so forth. It had really nothing to do with kicking, I don't think. As far as I remember, it was a long time ago. But his motivation to me, maybe I'm trying a 1 rep max on bench press or something, and he would just say one word to me, and that just got me going. He would say, never. He said, you'll never do it. You'll never get this. And that word never has stuck with me for my entire life, because I prove him wrong. Usually, I don't remember if was there ever a time that I actually didn't succeed with whatever he told me never. But I don't believe there was. I put that as my motivation. Like, oh, he thinks I can never do it. Watch me, like, hold my beer. All right. So that's kind of and again, you guys if you've been along this whole zealous wellness journey with me, yeah, we talk about proactive wellness. We talk about nutrition. We talk about lifting and fitness and just mental things that can help you on a daily basis and things that have helped me. But I want to really, now I'm kind of focusing into this whole journey, and you've kind of heard a lot about it. That was my point, really, is you've heard my journey about kicking, and I'm not going to spend too much time with it again, because a lot of you may know it, but I'm a short guy, right? And so I was told no a million times. Okay, so as a kicker, it really I'm kicking the ball really well. I get to a point in my football career that I'm kicking really well. I'm getting denied by NFL teams. I'm like, I'm kicking better than the guy you have on your team now, and yeah, I'm not in there. I'm not in the stadium, and the pressure is a little different clearly, but statistically watching, my kickoffs and hang times and distances and all that, I'm kicking better than your guys now, and so I knew that I was good enough to play. And so those guys saying no to me was kind of like my buddy Ken Harding saying never. Like, that was just, okay, you just threw fuel on the fire for me. That just made me a better person, a better player, a better, athlete. I want to work harder. And again, it's not necessarily proving people wrong. It kind of is without a negative connotation to it. It's just more of I want to prove this person wrong because I know I can do it and they don't think I can do it. And so therefore, when I prove them wrong, they're going to realize that they were wrong, and maybe they shouldn't tell people they shouldn't or can't do it. You heard one of the people talking in the clip talking about how don't listen to people that tell you can never do things. They don't know you. They have no idea what your abilities are. They don't know your work ethic. And again, I'm telling you, that's kind of the mindset that I've held on to for many, many years in different professions. Yes, have I gone through things after I retired? And it was my own fault. When I retired from the NFL, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't prepare myself very well at all, to be honest with you. I was very, very poor at looking into the future and getting ready for retirement because, hey, I'm a kicker. I'm like, yeah, I can go forever. Yeah, my back started hurting, and I'm like, man, this is tough. I'm going to hang on as long as I can. Then I had my third and fourth back surgery with the New York Giants when I was only there for a year. And that was pretty much the nail in the coffin at that point. And so I think that at that point, when I retired, I'm like, okay, well, I've got some money coming in. I had an injury protection benefit that I was able to get as well because of the way they released me. And there was a rule, and I followed all the things that they told me I needed to do. And I was granted this injury protection benefit. So I wasn't the normal NFL player that retires, their paychecks stop. I mean, I retired unofficially. I didn't really send my paperwork in. I don't think, actually I did. I did send my paperwork in, but I was granted this year of salary that was pretty significant. Of course, it wasn't zero like most NFL players that go from making a bunch of money to zero. I kind of was laid down nicely. I was given kind of a year to kind of think. And that's where I think it kind of got in my mind where I'm like, okay, I got this whole year. I got this whole salary for a whole year. I can just chill for a while. And again, I was, maybe call me, complacent, probably was. I still was like, well, in all honesty, we bought a new house. I was married at the time. We moved back to Jacksonville, bought a new house, and there was, it was a brand new house, and there was some things with it that I'm like, I want to make this better. I want to add this. I want to, put a light underneath the stair, little closet thing that we had there, and there was no light in there, so I wired a light in there, and I had this honey-do list basically, right? Well, when I finished that honey-do list, I was like, okay, well, I'm twiddling my thumbs like, well, heck, what am I going to do now? I found myself bored. I literally did. Within 2 months after retiring, I was bored out of my mind. And so I'm like, I got to find something to do. And at the time, I'm like, okay, I got some money, this and that. And, of course, then fast forward, many, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever it was, go through divorce. And, that money that I had is no longer there. And, a lot of things happen, and clearly you're not prepared for it. But I got involved in a franchise and spent a bunch of money on it, and only lasted a couple of years. And I had to kind of just get rid of it, and I couldn't even sell it because it has no value to it at all. So I lost money in that. So that definitely my investments had not been very great, and I was making some poor decisions in that area. Not unbeknownst to me, I didn't know those were going to fail. I worked really hard to make them successful, and they didn't really turn out to be what I thought. So yes, live and learn, but I persisted. And again, I'm a little stubborn when it comes to, when do I throw in the towel? I mean, I can turn this around. I can turn this around. I'm a competitor. So I think that kind of got me in a little deeper hole at times with my mindset and just my tenacious, my attitude, my persistence of, I can do this. I'm a dude. I'm a little stubborn. Yes, I get it. But with regards to just having, the people in general and just kind of the mindset that people have and the opinions that people have. Okay. And I'm going to come to an honest to God truth here. Okay. I've done some network marketing companies in the past. Now, my mindset for those is, yes, I played a game for 9 years. I was paid very well at the time for 9 years, but these guys are making a lot more than I did back then, which good for them. They're very good. They're a lot better than I probably was. I mean, these guys are incredible. They're really good. And they deserve what they're getting paid. So no, I'm not mad at them, of course, but I am upset the fact that I didn't really take care of my money and do better, financially when I was younger. But I wanted to retain an opportunity or opportunities to produce income more or less on my own. So I didn't want to work for anybody because I spent all this time playing a game for so long, for 9 years, that, man, I don't want to go into an office. I don't want to enter the corporate world. And a lot of times people realize the longer NFL players are playing, the more removed they are from what they went to college for and got their degree and all that. Well, that's fine and dandy. You go and I did get my degree. I went back, and after my first year of with the Jaguars, I believe it was, I finished up my internship and I got my 4-year, college degree. But 9-10 years later, I'm thinking, well, my degree is pretty obsolete at this point. Yeah, yes, I have it, but if I'm going to go back into that field or in health and wellness, which I am now, but I'm not in the corporate world of health and wellness, that it'd be a little bit challenging for me to I'd have to go get certifications and do some things. And I just wasn't interested in that at the time. And so my point is that, going back and thinking about what I could have done differently, I clearly would have, done some things differently. But my point is, as far as what my business mindset was, I started my own kicking academy a couple years after I retired from the NFL. So, okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I retired from the NFL. Now I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. I want to make my own hours. Because I'm disciplined like that. It took me a long time and a lot of work and effort to get to the level of kicking that I did. But with regards to kind of the attitude that I was trying to uphold was, I can make money doing the things I want to do. And I did it for a while. My kicking academy, still doing the kicking academy. It's 19 years into it now, almost. It goes up and down. And I'm not going to tell you that I'm like a Chris Saylor on the earth here in the United States and making all kinds of money. The dude makes tons of money doing camps, and he's been around a long time, and he's done very well with his marketing. But I kind of a little stubborn, thinking that my credentials playing the NFL would be good enough, and I didn't really brand too well. I guess I did at the beginning, but as far as advertising, I spent a lot of money on advertising early on, only to realize it wasn't working. My market is very niche. Anyways, I can give you all excuses in the world on why my kicking academy isn't as good as I think it should be. But my point is, I'm doing things still to this day that I enjoy doing. I have a passion in coaching, kicking, and understanding the kind of the mechanics and the philosophies of what my form does and all that. Well, I love the satisfaction of helping kickers become better, and that's the way I was taught this way. And so I wanted to pass that on. So again, entrepreneurship. Okay. So again, going back to the network marketing companies, I've done a handful of them, right? Well, every time I've done them, I've kind of realized that the people kind of get really good at ghosting. I don't want to listen to, he's trying to sell me that thing, or he's trying to do this. Oh, I'm going to, and you've probably heard it too. Like these network marketers, these people, and I wasn't, and I still am not. I'm not a very persistent person. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not going to try to talk you anything, because I don't want anybody trying to talk me into anything, because I think that's pretty cheesy, right? It sounds desperate. I'm very passionate about health and wellness, and I want to, after years of searching for good quality products, I finally, in my opinion, have come up with, found a company that has these products that I've been looking for so long, that actually do my body good instead of do my body nothing. And I'm learning a lot about bioavailability and how our bodies absorb or don't absorb certain molecules and phytonutrients, and it's a very great learning experience. So good that I'm actually in the process of studying to become a holistic health coach, and so that will assist my persistence and my attitude towards this 3 International. Which is our sponsor, by the way. And I didn't even show the commercial or the little spot. We can do that a little later if we need to, but kind of remind you what it is, actually, a 3 International. But my point is that I'm hearing a lot of no's, or I'm hearing nothing at all. Does that discourage me? I mean, it does, because I know the kind of person I am. I'm typical. I'm not going to say that I'm great at responding, and I always respond to people, but typically I'm typical of responding to people. I might be a day later or whatever, but I understand that people are, and again, being a former NFL player, believe me, people come after you for all kinds of advice and things, and they want you to help them with something. But there's 9 times out of 10, there's nothing in return for you. It's just that you're volunteering your time and your efforts for them, using my name, image, and likeness for things. And I think I've kind of thin myself out, we'll say, and like in Jacksonville, things like that. There's paid opportunities. And again, if I was in New York and I played for the Giants or the Jets for many years, that market up there is massive. And I know for firsthand, because I know people who've worked for those organizations, that those players, those former players, get paid tons of money to go do appearances around the city. And they love them. Everybody loves them, right? Well, Jacksonville is a different market, not nearly as big as New York, and they don't pay a whole lot for former guys, even though we're doing the same thing. We're going out, spending our time to meet and greet and signing autographs and all that. Occasionally we'll get some paid appearances, but nothing like, I'm telling you, they could, former players in New York could probably make a living on just doing appearances and making a lot of money doing that. So my point is that the opportunities to make money, I think are harder to do. Of course, when I spread myself thin, I'm always, and that's really what I was going with that, is the fact that I've always volunteered for stuff. I've done things whether they were paid or not. So if I'm out in the public a bunch, well, now people see me a bunch, and then next thing you know, maybe they're asking to have players show up at their event, and the teams in the Legends community, the Jaguars Legends community, saying, hey, we need a $500 for the hour, $1,000 for the hour for Mike Hollis or whatever. They say, well, man, I just saw him last 2 weeks ago. He came out for free. So I kind of burn those bridges in a sense where I lose opportunities because I'm out there. But again, I don't mind. I'm doing that because I want to. Could I make some money? Would it be great if I made some money? Great. Yes, of course. But going back to really, I know I get a little sidetracked all the time, but I'm very passionate when I speak, and I want people to understand that this concept of having people judge you and look at you in a way that they're like, that will never happen. Of course, in the video, you heard the people talking, you don't listen to these people, these naysayers. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know your plans. They just want to give you their advice. And, your whole concept is to understand you and know what your potential and your passions are. If you have passions in doing things and your potential and you're hard worker and dedicated, why would you ever possibly give these people even a second of your time to listen to what they're saying about you? Because I lived it. I lived it for many years getting into the NFL. Once I made it in the NFL and was actually somewhat successful, and that was like, okay, great, he's good. Now, my kickoffs weren't that great, so I'm sure teams were like, well, my back surgeries, I had a couple prior to my last team with the Giants, but I think that for the most part, I proved that I was good enough, and I was able to play 9 years in the NFL. Well, I didn't listen to the people that told me no. I didn't, because I knew my potential. And that's really where I'm going today with the kind of the mindset of what, you do what you believe, you do what you have a passion in doing. And again, people might think you're crazy. Going back to the whole network marketing thing, again, every time I join these things, and again, some of them I've pushed really pretty aggressively, but most of them I haven't. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 companies I've been with. Half of them I did a little bit of work with. The other half I actually took pretty serious, right? Well, 3 International, I've been involved probably the longest of all of them. Okay, almost 2.5 years now. I joined in March of 2023. And I can tell you honestly that people do run. I send and I'm polite about it. But again, I understand why they don't want to respond. I understand why they would even say no. And that's a very small percentage of the time that I reach out to the friends and people and associates. And again, I'm a little stubborn and thinking, well, I've done some cool things in the NFL. I have a name in the community. I'm not going to mislead you because my name's on the line with this. I don't want the reputation of forcing people into a company knowing that it's not really going to be good for them, or I'm just looking for a quick buck. I'm not that kind of guy. So I'm going to share information with you that I felt was very attractive when I got involved in the company, and see if you feel the same. Now, that's all I'm saying to these people, and they still ghost me. Okay. So yes, it's very discouraging at times, but I understand why, because maybe they're very nice people and they just have a hard time saying no. I understand that. I do too. I want to help my people out and my friends out. And, I actually, for the longest time, I always referred to myself as the yes man, because when people would ask me to do things, again, going back to my point about doing all these appearances in Jacksonville for basically free for many years, that I would always say, yeah, sure, I'll help you out, not really caring how it's going to benefit them, because I want to help people. I want them to benefit. But again, there's really nothing that really has come back to, maybe in the long run. Maybe me just showing face in front of these people and meeting people. Maybe some CEO of a company later on down the road from today will remember that I did an appearance and, hey, my Hollis guy, he's pretty cool. I'm gonna see if he wants to get in on this business opportunity. None of that has really happened, to be quite flat honest with you. None of that's really happened. So that, yes, it's discouraging, but I'm an optimistic kind of person, and I don't look at negatives. I want to focus on the positives and move forward and do the best that I can, because I know what I'm worth. I know what my values are. I know that I can help people. And that's where I discovered, obviously, and came up with this Zealous wellness concept, not necessarily the podcast version, but with 3 International, I thought, well, I'm going to come up with a kind of a landing page or some sort of mindset where let's call it something. This is the mindset of getting well, and spiritually, with mentally, with physically, with your health and wellness, all of that encompassed. And I'm adding more things. I just added a water company just recently, a guy that I should have added a long time ago to Zealous Wellness, but I've been getting water from this guy. His name is Tony. The best water you'll ever have in your life. So if you ever get on zealouswellness.com, hydrosonic water is one of the tabs. Click on that. Just read over it. He makes the water here locally in Jacksonville. I don't say makes it. He distills it. He rips the city water apart. He just takes everything out. He kills it basically, and then he revives it. And I'm telling you that the purest form of water is a snowflake, and that's not gone through the atmosphere and collected all the pollutants from the air and everything like that. But I'm drinking snowflakes, basically. This water is so good and so pure. And I've been doing this for probably 4 or 5 years now. And I won't, unless I have to, I won't drink any other water. I just have to have the water. And it tastes amazing. It's incredibly absorbable, which fits really well with 3 International, because we deal with bioavailability and so forth with that, cellular absorption and all that stuff. So I'm learning as I go. I'm maybe starting the whole process a little late as far as, learning about health and wellness, even though that was my degree. But again, that is pretty much obsolete. Things have changed dramatically with fitness, with nutrition, and gosh, we're, just look at the things we're seeing now. I just saw something that's very scary. One of these doctors that's very, 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 very well known in the, we'll say conspiracy area, but they're doctors. They have their opinions. And based on what I saw with the vaccines and COVID and all that stuff, there's a lot of things that people aren't talking about. And what the guy was talking about is he reached out to some scientists and all this and said, hey, I really would love an opportunity to see the research that's done on all the vaccines that are on the list to give children. Comes to find out that he couldn't find any scientist out there, any doctor out there that could provide any information on any of the research and any of the trials and the years of trials before they made these vaccines to the public. They couldn't find any of that. And I don't know if that's all true or not, but I'm having a hard time believing a lot of the things actually that are out there. You're putting cereal on the food pyramid. Are you kidding me? Processed cereal that's full of sugars, whether it's Cheerios or not. Sugar. How much is cancer related to sugar? Oh, absolutely. Cancer loves sugar. So just eat a bunch of sugar if you want to get cancer and deal with that. Okay. So again, there's a lot of things that we're not being told. But anyways, getting off track again, just understand that with regards to what your passion is and what you want to do, it does take some work and some effort. Yes, clearly. But again, that has a lot to do with your passion and what it is you really want to achieve in life. And I'm telling you, you will never move very far forward if you listen to people who have their opinions about you and think that they can get inside your head and tell you what to think. Okay. I lived with people like that before. I won't say names, but there's people out there that think that they know more than they know more about my well-being than I do, which I'm just like, wow, how can you even say that? How can you even get in my head or try to get in my head and tell me to think otherwise? About me and what I think and believe and feel and where my passions are. So, don't listen to people when you're very private. And again, you can keep your opinions to yourself. You can argue with that. Whatever, the choice is yours. Now, you got to pick your battles, I think, at times, and understand that when you're talking about being successful, and you have a dream and a goal and goals, many goals or many, you have a plan, you have all this desire and motivation to move forward and whether it's helping people or not, you're helping yourself, you're creating an income, you're doing well, providing for your families, all that stuff. As men, and specifically, and anybody in general, we have a lot of pressure when we get older. We grow up and we become big boys and girls, right? When I retired from the NFL, I didn't want to become a big boy. I wanted to still play, which I still have that mentality where I want to enjoy life. I don't want to sit in a cubicle in an office, for 40 plus hours a week. And I just hear too many stories about people who have lived their lives working to make an income, to make all this kind of money for other people. Yes, themselves are making an income, but when it comes time to retire, when they decide that they're done officially, when they're 60 or 70 years old, honestly, people retire, that late in life, and maybe they've found themselves. And again, when you put in this whole concept of working for others and maybe a corporate job where you're always away from home and you're not really eating that great, you're probably not doing yourself any favors. Plus, you don't have much time to work out. There's a lot of reasons why living in that lifestyle and in the corporate world is detrimental to your health, honestly, because if you don't treat it right, if you get complacent, lazy, like, man, I don't have time to work out. And even if I did, I'd have to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning, which a lot of people do before they go to work, which I commend. Absolutely. Props to you guys that do that. And so when you understand that concept of being disciplined and so forth, yes, you could live a good life. But my point is that I want to make sure that I'm enjoying my life, making money at the same time. And I'm not going to take life too serious. And again, when people try to tell me what to do or how to do it, that's when I'm kind of just putting the stops off. I'll listen to them, but I'm, it's what I believe as far as, if their opinion matches mine, great. If it doesn't, great. That's their opinion. I'm not going to, I know what I want. They don't know what I really want. I can tell them what I want, but they'll, maybe try to convince me otherwise. So again, I think that, dealing with life in general, dealing with people who want to convince you to do things in certain ways or do things or not do things, I think that that's a little hard to deal with people like that. And honestly, it has to do with, again, your mentality and how confident you are with yourself, with what you want. And I've told people this for many years now. I mean, I was a 5'8", guy playing in the NFL, highest level of football in the world, 180 pounds, not a very good athlete, but I mastered a craft, a skill that I was good at. And I was able to do that. But it didn't come overnight. There was a lot of work and effort into it, clearly, but it's what I wanted to do. And again, for all those people, coaches back in the day, college coaches, and even NFL coaches that overlooked me, and said, well, he's too short. Well, it turned out it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm a short guy, but I made kicks. I won games. I did very well in the NFL during those times, and I'm proud of that. So I was able to achieve the things that I set out to achieve, and I'm not stopping anywhere soon. So with regards to with regards to anything that I'm doing, Zealous Wellness, I'm plugging away, and I'm going to, because I'm passionate about it, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to move forward. And so hopefully you do too. Whatever it is you're going to do in life, whatever you're doing now, whatever you're passionate about, don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise, tell you not to do it, tell you that you're silly for doing it, you're going to lose money in it. Maybe you do. Okay, well, that's a learning experience. We talk about failure all the time. We're not going to be very good people, and we don't learn a whole lot if we don't fail. I've never met a person in the world other than maybe Jesus. I haven't met him yet. One day I will. Okay, he was perfect. Okay, we as humans are not. We're flawed. Okay, we have a lot of things in sin every day we have things that are not what they should be in a perfect lifestyle. Okay, so but again, that's just human nature. We have to learn from those and move on, and don't let others, drag you down into those kind of things, of course. So with regards to just knowing what you want to do, moving forward and having fun, that's the best part about this, is once you get that passion for things, it doesn't become work anymore. You're not really working on stuff. Yeah, you're working hard and working to make yourself better, but that word work, I don't think it really applies when you're passionate about things. It does. It's not really, you don't look at it as work. It's like, man, you wake up in the morning like, oh, I can't wait to start doing this. And that's kind of where I am with health and wellness, with this Zealous Wellness, with sharing information to people and making them aware of better nutrition, a better way of taking care of themselves. And I'm not going to, be discouraged from people who either ghost me or say no. I would much rather a no, like have the courtesy to just tell me no, because I don't want to bug you. That's the other thing I don't want to do, is bug people about, this. And if they don't respond to me, I'm going to take it as, well, one of two things: either they're having a hard time saying no and they just don't want to respond, or they're busy and just overlooked my message. But there are times in my life that many times in my life that I've responded to people and done, they've asked me to do something and I do it. But again, that's just me. And, I'll have to live with those things, and those are experiences too. So I'm learning as I go. So all those times I've said yes to people, I sometimes will meet new people. I'll, learn new things. So it's a benefit to me either way. I may not get, monetary value from it, but it's okay. It's okay. I enjoy helping people and making sure that they're taken care of, and I hope the same way for me as well. So keep that in mind, and I hope that you caught something from this as far as that video. I'm going to post it on social media probably tomorrow morning, and I'll have something to say about it as well in my post, in my text in the post itself. But hope you guys enjoy your night. 3 International is our sponsor. We didn't go over the commercial or the little blurb for 3 International, but it's on zealouswellness.com. You can check it out, and I can definitely help you. I'm pretty knowledgeable, and if I don't have the answers, I can definitely find people that do. So enjoy your Monday night. And just as a side note, I will be in Vietnam for 3 weeks. So this will be the last episode for a good month or so, 3 weeks at least. I'm not sure what day I'm coming back. It's the Monday after the 26th, I think, somewhere in there. But my point with that is that it's actually a 3 International incentive trip that I'm going for. I'm going for 2 weeks prior to that actual trip itself, in a all expense paid resort that I won through 3 International. So it's another perk, another cool thing that I enjoy. That's another reason why I love to help people, because I get some things like this in return, which is great. So I will see you guys in a month. But until then, enjoy yourself, stay healthy, stay safe, be accountable, have fun, and most importantly, take care of your people. Have a good night.
At 3, we want to give you the true health benefits that you're paying for, something you can feel and see a difference quickly. Each product is packed with powerful plant-based nutrients that are combined through a proprietary curation process and then infused with innovative cellular absorption technologies to ensure the nutrients absorb into the cells for maximum wellness. The quality and effectiveness of our life-changing products is evident by their approval to be included in the well-known Prescriber's Digital Reference, or PDR. PDR has been a valuable resource to the medical doctors and providers in the healthcare community for decades. Our products are GMO-free, clinically studied, and third-party tested, all designed to support health and proactive wellness for everyone.
Thank you for watching Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.